WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate series to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacy and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Welcome to West Virginia Uncommon Place. I am JR.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is another one of these amazing West Virginia eatery episodes. This time we're traveling all the way to Beckley. Now let me tell you a little bit about our history in Beckley. Beckley is a travel through city for us. When there's events like wrestling, we'll stay down there or we'll visit a night or something like that. It's our home away from home before we get to our secondary home in the state of Virginia. Now, I will say this about Calacinos. It is located at 3611 Robert C. Byrd, Beckley, West Virginia, 25801. And to tell you about this restaurant first, I have to give you a little background story. Now, with anything else that we've done in the West Virginia eateries, we talked about Geno's, we talked about Bammy's in St. Albans. This place is special because I was remodeling a store in Summersville, and Stacy and I had weekends together because I'd get off on Thursday, go to sleep on Friday. By the time I woke up on Friday, she would return to me. So we had Friday and Saturday nights to travel from Summersville to wherever. The closest cities are Charleston and Beckley. We've traveled Charleston. We were natives of there at some point. But Beckley was unknown to us. So when you look at a map of Beckley, you see a layout of Southridge, West Virginia, basically, to a degree, on one strip. It has a mall. It has everything that every other West Virginia big city has. But it had two mom and pop places, which McAdoo's wasn't a mom and pop place, but it had McAdoo's and it had Calacinos. We knew nothing about Calacinos. We like pizza. We like anything that's derived from pizza, so we went there. When you go inside of this restaurant, the first thing you see is West Virginia history. And before you get to where you're going to eat, you see all kinds of decorated history of the city of Beckley and its athletics and different things in the city. And then you go have a seat. And I'll let Stacy tell you just a little bit about her experience.
We've only had the privilege of actually eating there a couple times. Like you said, we don't travel to Beckley a whole lot, but when we do, we try to make sure we stop in there. They're very friendly in there. It's a family-owned location. Like, it's not something you're going to see in every state that you go to. It is a West Virginia staple there in Beckley. We didn't get anything bad either time that we went.
Right.
And the pizza we ordered, it was huge.
Yes,
and it was very large for the price that you paid. Like, you get your money's worth when you go to that place. It's not like we're going out and spending... We're not going out and spending $50 on a steak that is, around as a piece of bologna.
And the one thing that I will say is that, one thing that I did get when we were there, I got a pepperoni roll from there. The first time we went.
Yeah. And
it was amazing. Pepperoni rolls are a staple of actual West Virginia. I know that everybody says that JR's Donut Castle makes the best ones in Parkersburg. But in Beckley, it was almost like, it made me feel like I was eating a homemade Hot Pocket. How good it was. And I do vividly remember that we got appetizers. Now, mind you, we've been a while. I know that we got the deep fried pickles, and they were amazing. But just going in general, it's your normal sit-down restaurant in the sense of that you can get appetizers, a meal, and you can get a dessert. Now, I do remember we ate some of their wings. Their wings were on point, and the hospitality, like you said, was great because they kept my soda full. And I'm the type of person, if I go in your facility or your establishment, My soda costs $3.49. Well, I'm going to drink a 2 liters worth of soda. That's something that you need to keep in mind, everybody, as long as we go through this. So when I see the price of a drink, we were at a restaurant in, it was either Massachusetts where my drink was $4.69. I made sure I drank 2 liters while we were there.
Right.
And after that, we fixed everything from there. And
sorry, guys.
We have a little technical difficulty. And
you just need to cut that out.
Yeah, we'll run through that little static part. But either way, going to this place was amazing. Like, I just enjoyed the food. Nothing was wrong with it. Had a great time. And the reason that I wanted to talk very quick about this is because, like I said, we were doing small episodes, and these will all come out on Saturdays. We're going to fill out some now, and then they'll pick back up in March after February, because February is going to be a wild month of different type of shows. It'll be so much stuff on there that, everything's curated. But anyway, back to Calacinos.
So my thing, when my first impression when we walked in there, the parking lot is full. Oh gosh, this is going to take forever. But, it's either this or Little Caesars, because like you said, we wanted pizza. We didn't want anything. We didn't want steak, and we didn't want fast food. So we're like, all right, well, there's one parking spot left, so let's just go ahead and go in and see how long it's going to take. We sat right down, and it was empty. I think there might have been 1 or 2 other people in there. You can see them making the food. You can see I think it's the stone oven, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, what do you call those?
Y'all know what she's talking about, that stone.
It's not a real oven. Like, it's a real oven, but it's not. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. And it wasn't until the second time that we went in there that it finally clicked that it's also a sports bar. So when we went back to the next section, you could hear a little bit more of what was going on. Like, that second section had your bar, and then there was a closed off area that had your more of entertainment type.
Yeah, your sports bar. Like, the West Virginia game the second time we went was going on.
Yeah.
And they had a crowd. Now, when you see this building from the outside, if I remember correctly, that extra addition is that bar in the back.
Yeah.
And like, the first time we went, I did notice it because we were in and out pretty fast.
We thought it was just a completely different part of the building.
Yeah, so that is something that's extra, and that's something inside of all major eateries on a Saturday in September or August or even October. We were not going to talk past December because we never know what the football season is going to look like.
We'll just say West Virginia football season.
Yeah, West Virginia football season, you can find people packed into these places to watch the game. And it was amazing because it wasn't very loud or abrasive or anything like that. It was just a calm crowd in there. Now, they were cheering.
Right, but you could barely hear them. It was very, if you didn't want to participate in the game atmosphere, you were still able to have, like, the family independent atmosphere. And you still got the same type of service. Like, it didn't matter whether you were there as an individual or a large group. They were all working their butts off and doing anything they could to make you happy.
And see, that was a major thing. That was my major takeaway. I like that so much. Like, that whole atmosphere and how things went. And that's why Calacinos gets a mention, and we'll get its own picture and everything up when we release this episode. And going forward, we'll have some more eateries and different things like that. And not
especially if they're West Virginia specific.
Yeah, West Virginia specific. We're going to do some more talks about a few little different things like that. We're going to get more West Virginia centric for our smaller episodes so that you can learn about West Virginia and what we do in West Virginia. And on that note, I am JR.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is West Virginia in Commonplace. And Stacy has a line that she wants to throw in there for us so that you can know how to meet and greet us across the internet.
Just make sure you please follow us on all social medias. Interact with us as much as you can. Hit a like, hit a follow, hit a share. It costs nothing for you to hit that like button. So that is the biggest way that you could support us, is to help other people find us. And maybe somebody traveling through West Virginia and you're like, hey, listen to this episode. They'll tell you what kind of place to eat at for the day or something. And we'll see what we can do with these numbers.
And I want to thank you very much, and we are signing off.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at onecommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.